Hello, hello, everybody. My name is Nick Murphy of the Brothers Murph, and this is You Can Solo That? This is a brand new series. This is actually our first series that we're doing that's not Metagame Minute or Best of the Week, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be doing something in this series that I don't do, and that's soloing games. I don't play games solo. I play games with Mike. I also play games with other people, but for the most part, I play games with Mike. And so we just don't usually have much of a need to solo. I can almost always play a game with him. If not, I have a bunch of other friends who play games. But ultimately, I can usually rely on Mike to play games with me. A lot of people, when you have a new game, a lot of people's first question is, can you solo it? Can you solo it? Will it be a solo variant? So the question is, why the hell am I doing this? And I think it's interesting to add a voice of someone who doesn't really do this. And I'm not going to say doesn't like it, but doesn't really have much interest in it. The way this whole thing came about was we have a roommate named Justin. Justin is a director. He directs movies. Mike is an actor. Mike also likes to do behind-the-scenes stuff. He edits most of our videos. He likes to do a lot of on-the-set kind of stuff as well. So they were actually going to be going up to Oregon for a month in December. For the entire month of December, they were going to be gone in Oregon filming 2 movies. So then my instant thought was what the hell am I going to do? I mostly play games with Mike. How am I going to play games? So I was just I'm going to have to solo games. I'm going to have no choice. So then I started getting into my head I should just go through the games that we have. And as I was going through all our games, it turns out we had way more games that you can solo that weren't cooperative games than I thought. And I kept coming across games and going, you can solo that? You can solo that? You can solo that? And so that's what I named this series, because Mike not only is the better looking brother, he's also the clever one. I don't do much. Why am I here? So I was okay, Mike's going to be out of town for a month. What I'll do a series and I'll go through all of our games that we can solo and I'll rate them. And then it turns out that they're going to film the movies in LA and Mike and Justin aren't leaving anymore. And so now they're going to stay here. So I was oh, okay. I was kind of looking forward to doing that series just out of sheer curiosity. So I thought, screw it, I'm doing it anyway. So now I'm doing it anyway. So, without further ado, this is the inaugural episode of You Can Solo That? The first game that I'm going to solo is my second favorite game of all time, and the reason I chose this one is because my good friend and Mike's good friend Matthew Jude from This Game Is Broken and from The Dice Tower loves this game. And he's actually never played this game. He has only ever soloed it. He's never played the full version, and that game is Viticulture. My second favorite game of all time. It has a solo variant to it that apparently is quite good. I love this game a lot. It comes very highly recommended from Matthew Jude. So, let's give it a shot. Damn. You can solo that? Okay, so in Viticulture Automa, we're going to go with Automa, because why not? In this game, you're going to set up Viticulture in the normal way that you usually do. I just finished playing a game, which is why the card's a little shuffled and because I'm a rebel. So I'm playing here with the Tuscany board, which is why it's a little bit bigger. If your board looks different, don't worry, the Automa rules work for both. So first thing you do is go ahead and pick a color, get your mamas and papas, and set up your board how you usually do with your fields, your money, whatever your mamas and papas give you. The main difference in the Automa game is these Automa cards right here. They have this side, and the other side, they look like this. And they have all these different colors that correspond to different seasons. So you can go ahead and give this a good old shuffle. And then at the beginning of each season, you are going to flip over the Automa card and then do what it says to the corresponding season that you are in. The last thing you have to do to set up is pick an opposing color, a color to represent the Automa player. But you don't need all their little bits, you just need their scoring token and then their 6 workers, and that's it. So one of the last other setup things is you have to place the Automa color on 25 to win. Basically, you're going to have 7 rounds over the game to get your pawn past this. If you don't get your pawn past this or you tie with it, you lose. So that's all you're doing over 7 rounds, trying to get from start to 26 at least If you do, you win the game. Other slight change is here on the wake up chart. You see you put a dewdrop on 1 through 7. You choose the wake up chart as normal. You're going to put it wherever you want, and then you're going to get the bonuses as you pass through each round. The new thing is that you also are going to get one of these dewdrops. And then what you do with these is you get to trigger a bonus spot on the board that you place your worker that you normally could not get. A little caveat though is you can't go to the same space twice. So next time I can't go to 5, I'll have to go to 1 through 4 or 6 or 7. This also keeps track of the different rounds of the game because remember, we only have 7 rounds to win the game. Fun fact, these might be my favorite component in any game. I just love these things. They magnify what they're under. I love them. So the way these Automa cards work is that every time you pass into a new season, into spring, summer, fall, or winter, you are going to draw a new Automa card, and then the color that represents the Automa player is going to block certain spaces on the board. So this is to represent a kind of mock player, a player blocking different spots on the board so that you can't access them, which is how the game normally works. You really need to plant some green cards, but Mike, that douche, takes a spot before you, so now you can't do that. That's essentially how this works. So there are 4 colors for the 4 seasons. There's green, yellow, red, and blue. So when you're going into a new season, you draw an Automa card and you see if any of the bars on the Automa card correspond to the season you're going into. Let's just say we're going into spring here. So we draw this card and we see one of them is green, which matches the green here. And then we're going to place one of the blue workers to block this spot. Zippity boo 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 boo, blocking stuff. And that represents someone else taking that spot for you. So you can't have that spot anymore. Then we move on over into summer. Oh gosh, there's 2 spots that are going to get blocked now. So not every spot has every season on it. As you can see, we have spring, summer, and fall, but no winter. So sometimes you can get a break and nothing gets blocked. So in this instance, the plant and buy, sell 1 field would get blocked. Zow-ba-dow-bow, blocking 2 spaces, cause it's summer, ow. Then we move over into fall. And draw a purple card is blocked. Blocking that purple, blocking it right now. Then we move over into winter and sell 1 wine token is blocked. The year's almost over, we're blocking still, oh yeah. And in terms of placing workers, other than that, you do it as normal. You place workers, you can get bonuses and all that kind of stuff. It's not all that different. It's mostly just through these cards. So at the end of 7 rounds, if you are ahead of your Automa opponent, you win. And that is how you play Viticulture solo. Alrighty, that was the solo variant of Viticulture called Automa. Ultimately, pretty darn good. I will say that if given the opportunity, I will literally always play with people. But that being said, if I had to play a solo game, this one's definitely doable. One thing I really, really liked about it is that the fact that it's much quicker than a game of Viticulture. Viticulture, even as a 2-player game, is not that short. You know, you're looking at probably at least an hour. And it's kind of like a heavier thing. This one is more, it's lighter and it's just quicker and it's just a little more breezy. And I think that's good and I think that's nice. And I think it's kind of a good variant. One thing I really liked about it is the Automa cards. I did not think these were going to be that cool. But I'll tell you, they really simulated another player. Because it's just them blocking certain spots, which I feel like in a lot of 1-player solo variants, that's what happens. There's some weird dummy player who's out just blocking spots for the hell of it, just to make it scale kind of for one person. And this is that. But this feels better. It felt like a real game. It felt like all the times where I'm sitting here waiting for Mike to place one of his guys and just being like, don't do it, don't you do it, don't you plant it. God, he did it! Jesus Christ, my whole plan's gone, whole plan's gone. That happens so many times where I'm like, you're getting ready to draw a card and you're just like, don't have the make a wine token in action. I swear to God, I will burn this damn card if it has make a wine token action. God damn, it does! Hey, look, it does. Fun. And that really, really felt real. It felt exactly like when you were playing a game. Just begging for them, please, please, please don't take that spot, and they do. And it sucks. You can scale it up and down, you can make it harder or easier. I just played normal. And it was tough. You only have 7 rounds, which is not very long. I won barely, and I had to, pull some strings to get around it. I had to just pull everything out to get this, because one of the things that needed to happen is I needed to make 2 wine tokens. And guess what card came up? It blocked make 2 wine tokens. And I had no way to do it. And I got a lucky draw on a visitor card that allowed me to make 2 wine tokens. And that is like Viticulture. Like sometimes you just get a bit of luck with the cards, and your partner is just screwing you, and it sucks. And I loved it. It was really, really cool. One thing that I found interesting about the 7 rounds is that it was very evident from the very, very beginning that you really have to focus on getting workers. In a normal game, because you're not set in that 7 round barrier, you can kind of go more casually about certain things, about building structures, about getting workers and stuff. Sometimes I'll have 3 or 4 workers for like the entire game or most of the game, because you just don't really need it. In this one, because you only have 7 rounds, you're like, I need to be able to do more than 3 things. I need to be able to boom, boom, boom. And so I was just trying to collect money so I could buy workers. And I thought that was interesting because that felt very different than a normal game, but not necessarily in a bad way. Everything else, for the most part, plays like normal Viticulture. You're just trying to get your engine going, trying to get stuff ready, trying to get the cards you need, and trying to hopefully not get blocked out of stuff that you want. And it was cool. It was super fun. Overall ranking is 1 out of 1 solos. Sure. I liked it. I thought it was very, very good. I'm glad it's a good start. I will make sure Matthew Jude knows that his praise was worthy. And that is going to be it for me. Thank you so much for checking out this inaugural episode of You Can Solo That. Please check us out on all forms of social media, which will be somewhere here on the screen. Check out our podcast, This Game is Broken. Speaking of Matthew Jude, he's also in that podcast. Super funny. Check it out. It has its own YouTube channel. It has its own YouTube channel, which will be in the description down below. Check us out on Twitch. We live stream games quite often. We live stream Viticulture quite often. We like this game quite a bit. So until the next episode of You Can Solo That, this is Nick. On my